Okay, good morning, Valentina.
Good morning.
Let's start with general question. What were your expectations before going to the Kalahari, and with what you came back home?
So actually, I didn't have so many expectations before going there. I was more like curious about discovering and learning about people, about the places and the plants, the environment. So the expectation that I didn't actually find was that place was less drier than I thought. So actually was many trees, not many species, but quite green. Okay, we went there also in the period of raining, so that's also part of it. But yeah, climate level very dry, but still with some vegetation that help and that they can support for sure the agriculture, for example. Concerning the communities, I thought they were a bit more larger, like in very few people actually live there. So that was kind of, we knew, but was a realization that were very small communities and also quite different the level of who is actually living there, who went back to the place after the land reclaim, and it appeared that different people living there, and also like some language issues are present. Many of the old languages are almost disappearing. Few people can speak them, but they are trying to transmit this knowledge, but was a bit difficult apparently to engage the whole people in teaching to the youngest. I felt that community feeling was present. We have some good example of how the people anyway work together in such a hard environment. But at the same time, some gaps are present. I think, for example, it seems like there is gaps in between communicating and learning and knowledge transmission in between the adults or the elders and the youngs and the child. It was the school structure was very fine. At the same time, like young people, they don't really have a place to meet and to exchange, and there is also, we're not sure how much they are willing to learn from the elders. Maybe they don't have space to do this exchange. Also, there's some feeling that we got from there.
You already talked a little bit about this, but I ask you again, what was your general impression in relation to the villages, to the people and to the land, in negative and in positive?
So we found out that things are moving there, and especially in Vale seems to be pushed to become a central place for all the smallest community living a bit far from Vale. The infrastructure are present, but are few. Like the government is not really present there at different level, but for sure regarding water issues. They don't have support for pumps, and they always had to fix this infrastructure that were maybe present already before, thanks to the older farmer. But now things normally broke, or they need to be supported also economically, and and this is like something that emerged from people. They felt like a bit isolated from the rest of the country, a bit They, they don't have a lot of communication either. Like few newspaper came there. Now people start to have internet on their mobile phone, but it felt like they are very much separated from the rest of South Africa and in general to the global community. And that's something that we thought was also a bit our role to enter this gap and to allow the community to relate to other projects, other rural community working on the same path, working on finding solution, on small scale local solution. So it was nice to find out, for example, that the garden project is starting again after the whole garden project was abandoned. It's not a community garden either, but it's a nice step to show the things are possible, and eventually in future other people, they can become curious and see that plants are growing, and they can do it the same in their home garden, or either make a bigger garden for a community purpose. So inside the community, things are pushing, especially from some people. There are a little bit, like I can say, focal points for them. So it's people that have studied, travel abroad, and they come back with a willing, working for their own community and find solution together. So that's part regarding the garden was very interesting. But that was in Andrews Vale, not in all the farms. So there is still a lot of work to do, and actually even at agricultural level things need to be experimented there and see what's the solution that works better in that place, in that specific location. If you implement a garden in the whole riverbed, there is potentially better soil there than in another place, because the soil is already a bit more fertile. So you start with a better beginning, to implement your garden. And that's something that we found out also with our workshop and working together in the garden, to find out what they're actually already doing and what can be improved thanks to new ideas, and just experimenting these new ideas and see how they react, how the soil there and the plants they react, and so finding the right adjustment for that area. For example, we trying to mulch this bed with some small beans, and we tried like two different pots, one with mulching and one without mulching, and that was a process that we decided together with the person in charge of the garden. He became very interested to see how the actual plants they will react to the mulching. So we just tried. Together we went to cut some grass, put the mulching on the plants, and after a couple of days we went back there, and actually the small plants with the mulching, they were reacting very, very well. So the guy was happy, and he was kind of convinced by the fact of seeing the plants improving to, okay, maybe that's a step forward to producing food, and we can actually experience this technique on other plots and see how they will react with the new plants. So that's for me good feedback that we receive of working together with them without imposing any technique on any solution, but trying together the good solution for that area and for that problem.
Okay. Anything else?
I think aspetta, c'era qualcosa che volevo dire. for me it was very important to clarify our visit there and our possible role either now and in the future, in order to do not create expectation for people, because we saw that even if the government was not really present, many projects, many NGO, they passed from there and then trying to implement some project. And the follow-up was not always easy, and sometimes the funds and so the people do not receive the support that they will need for to really implement on long term the project. So that for us was very important to start little by little, like small actions, small scale project and activities, and see with the time how the things can improve together with them. So we hope really that some of the person we met in the community, they will really enter Kalari Catalyst, become part of the teams, and really in order to support the things they are already doing through our skills or the communicating what's happening there to the rest of the world. And so even just like working with the kids, doing workshop in school, and just inspiring the children and let the children inspire us by their reaction, by working together in creating a workshop of recycling material. It's something that it's real, it's concrete, and that's make a change, because that's the first step. It's a small things, but it's inscribed in a bigger picture of how we are making changes and empowering the people there to take this change for their own life and implement them further in the future.
Thank you.
Devo dire altro?
Se te la senti, sì, se no. Va bene, siamo a 12 minuti comunque.
Infatti.